It's time for the Proceed Halftime Report. If you need seed, think Proceed. Joining us now, District Sales Manager Everett Ritterman. Great to have you here, sir. So, how was the overall season for our farmers?
Well, overall, it wasn't too bad. It started out really good. Things were getting pushed along great, and then we got hot and dry and got dried out. Harvest started getting some more moisture, and that was kind of a battle. But that's the weather. We can't control that. Things we can control is our variety selection and our placement. So we have Proceed have done a good job with that. They have different varieties for different parts of the state, so not just one, and expect it to work everywhere. So our Extend 6009s did very well up north. 5008s yielded 40 in the Candu area, so we're very happy with that. Considering the conditions, everyone was real happy with the outcome on the yields.
That's great to hear. All right, so about the Right Choice program as well. You guys do a great job with that. What's happening this year?
Yeah, this year we're featuring firearms. So Right Choice has been always very popular, and we've also added a couple different ways to qualify too this year. So guys should be pleased to see that.
Anything else you want to add, sir?
Like to touch on the Right Stuff program as well. That's honoring our veterans. So any military personnel that's involved with farming operations and buys Proceed, we will gift them with a nice little gift on Veterans Day, which is coming up. So
very soon. Thank you for what you guys do for our community, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. So again, check them out, proceed.net if you want more information, and stay right here. Much more coming up right here on the Proceed Halftime Report.
Welcome into the Proceed Halftime Report. If you missed the first quarter, you didn't miss much. If you missed the end of the second quarter, you missed a lot of fun and a lot of interesting things.
A lot of craziness.
A lot of interesting things. Bison leads 7-0 over Youngstown State. Let's take a look at how we got to where we are with your first half highlights.
Yeah, Penguins defense opens up with a 3-and-out. Youngstown State offense charging with Nathan Mays as their quarterback. They go for it here on 3rd down, but another red zone stop for Code Green.
On 4th down here, and this is very interesting. I like this call from Youngstown State to go for it here. Unfortunately, you come up with no points, but I think the Bison always say field goals aren't going to beat you. I think Youngstown State believes that as well.
Yeah, 3rd and 5 here for NDSU. A 50-yard pass, Easton Stick to Des Kane. You'll notice this is 9 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yeah, we're already into the second quarter, still scoreless here, but good to see Des Kane getting involved in the offense.
They go to the air again on the very next pass from the 30 Stick to Lance Dunn.
This play was open earlier in the game. They flipped it, went to the other side. Lance Dunn was open. They didn't connect on it the first time. They get it this time. That touchdown right there sends Easton Stick into a tie for most touchdowns responsible for with Brock Jensen, 107 at NDSU.
Well, now we're heating up. YSU looking to tie it 3rd down. Looks good. Mays to Payne, and he drops it.
The freshman with the hands. And the funny thing is he makes the play on the punt here, a tougher catch that gets NDSU deep in this territory to force this punt.
Yeah, that's right. NDSU trying to punt it away here from deep in their field, but the YSU special teams on point today.
And for a team that's been so good for the Bison, the punt team has been very good for the Bison. A rare mishap there.
Well, Youngstown driving here. Get down to the 3 from the 11. It's 3rd down now. Mays getting ready, not realizing they didn't get the first down. He spikes it.
You got to be aware. You got to be aware of what's going on. That was 4th down. The Penguins were out of timeouts. They didn't get the first down. It was 4th down, and they spiked the ball, and that's...
With 7 seconds left, NDSU takes over. Easton Stick will take a knee.
For what it's worth, NDSU still good in the red zone. YSU is 0 for 2. Let's take a look at our halftime stats brought to you by the North Dakota Certified Seed Producers. That's a head scratcher to end all head scratchers right there. Here are the first half stats. The Bison with 183 total yards, and if I told you before the game, hey, you're going to have almost 2-to-1 passing to rushing, what would you say for NDSU?
No way.
Yeah, no way, and that's why we only have the 7-0.
I don't take those bets, though,
You
anymore.
don't. No, you don't.
Anymore.
After last week. Stick is 8 of 14 through the air for 133 yards, the 1 touchdown. He's also the leading rusher, 8 attempts, 29 yards. Interestingly enough, on the YSU side, Nathan Mays, the quarterback who replaced Montgomery Van Gorder, who had been the starter. 14 carries for 52 yards on the ground. He's got 37 yards through the air.
Yeah, that quarterback run game has been huge for both of these teams, and it's one of those things that kind of continues to find itself in this matchup between these two teams. They're very similar on both sides of the ball, and the same things kind of work for each other.
Yeah, the penalties there, 3 for 25 yards for Youngstown State, 2 for 22 yards for North Dakota State. Early on, this looked like that was going to be the story, was these penalties, but things have started to cool off a little bit and sort themselves out. The Bison lead 7-0.
Cool off in the penalties department.
Yes, in the penalties department. Those are your halftime stats brought to you by the North Dakota Certified Seed Producers. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll take a look around the Missouri Valley Football Conference. A very interesting day happening in the Valley and nationally as well. We'll tell you all about it as the Proceed Halftime Report continues. Welcome back inside the Proceed Halftime Report. The Bison lead 7-0 over Youngstown State. Let's take a look at some of the scores around the rest of the Missouri Valley Football Conference. We'll start with a crazy one. 3 overtimes needed in Indiana State and South Dakota, and the Sycamores, the mighty Sycamores, coming in hot.
As you told me this one was continuing to go throughout the first half of this Bison football game, I just couldn't believe it. Indiana State. It's a good year not to run into Indiana State.
Yeah, good thing the Sycamores aren't on the schedule for the Bison. They are now 5-4 overall. So good for the Sycamores picking up a win over South Dakota.
Good for, you want everybody to be competitive.
Yeah, right. Okay, and Northern Iowa picks up a win, a 10-point win over Illinois State. Illinois State now probably sees their playoff hopes dashed with that loss there. We move on. Western Illinois trailing Southern Illinois in the fourth quarter, 24-31. And South Dakota State taking care of some business against Missouri State, 38-7. Another note, if you hadn't heard it in the broadcast, James Madison, they were the number 2 seed in the FCS playoff committee rankings. They lost today to New Hampshire, 35-24. So some shakeups happening already as we get into November.
And you said they pulled the quarterback early.
Pulled the quarterback early. Yeah, it was a big mess for JMU. They've got some questions. They're looking at playing on Thanksgiving now. So that's what could happen there. All right. We will step aside. That is for the Proceed Halftime Report. We'll send you back out to the Fargo Dome right after this.